Hello, Colas. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We are going to start with Antoine Griezmann, talking about some key financial details of Griezmann's permanent transfer from Barcelona to Atletico Madrid. We are going to be discussing on that as we move ahead. Then secondly, talking about Chelsea midfielder N'Golo Kante, it has been reported that Barcelona won the 2018 FIFA World Cup winner on a free transfer. It has been claimed that manager Xavi likes him a lot. We are going to be discussing on that as well. So guys, before we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch right up to the very end. The long-standing saga of Antoine Griezmann's permanent move to Atletico Madrid was put to rest recently. The star forward, who was on a 2-year loan deal with the capital club, moved permanently from Barcelona and signed a fresh deal until 2026 for a fee of €20 million plus variables. Now, El Partidazo, the Cope, via Mundo Deportivo, has revealed the final details of the finances involved in the transfer from Barca to Atletico. To begin with, the real fixed price for the Frenchman is said to be around €18 million, although it is quoted at €20 million because the first variable set in the contract is rather easy to achieve, that is, Atletico's qualification for the next year's UEFA Champions League. The other variables are adjusted as per Atletico's progress in the European competition. First, Atletico will have to pay an additional €2 million if they reach the quarter-final round of the competition. Meanwhile, the next €2 million are reserved in case his team wins any official title. Hence, if the mentioned criteria are met, Barcelona will receive as much as €24 million from Antoine Griezmann's sale. Interestingly enough, Barcelona have also reserved the right of his future sale. In case Atletico decide to sell the frontman in the future, any fee received above €18 million up to €40 million will go to Barcelona. It must be noted that the initial agreement between Barca and Atletico Madrid included a mandatory purchase option of €40 million for the latter. The only clause that could prevent Atletico Madrid from paying the fee was to avoid his participation for over 45 minutes in 50% of the games for which he was available. The Madrid-based team leveraged is to an extent that Barcelona were focused on settling a lower fee, and since they did not want him to return next season, a permanent transfer for him was eventually sanctioned. So those are the key details of that move that was finalized some few days back. So Antoine Griezmann is finally back to where he belongs. Of course, I think he suits the playing style of Atletico far than Barca. Of course, Bartomeu was the one who bought Antoine Griezmann, which was so controversial because when we look at things critically, he did not even fit the Barca style of play. It was just a transfer of, I don't know if it's showing off or whatever, because Griezmann is a superstar. But that was not even the case because he did not really succeed at Barcelona. So everything is complete. Antoine Griezmann now can play the full games. He must not be coming off from the bench like he used to at the beginning of the season. So I think Barcelona have made a wise decision. Even looking at the clause that we have just analyzed, I think there are wise clauses because Barcelona will obviously have something in the future if in case Griezmann is sold to another club above 18 million. So I think it is a well-calculated move. Rather than having Griezmann back to Barcelona, Laporta and the club representative just said better they should just sell him because Antoine Griezmann is not a Barca type of players. And I think he'll be happy himself that he has permanently go back to Atletico Madrid, where he first of all started. So I think it's great. The transfer everything is finalized. Even though we bought him for more than €100 million, about 120 something million euros, and selling him back to the very Atletico for just 20 million, it looks a type of way. But I think Laporta had no choice. He had no choice. In the first place, he was not the one who bought Antoine Griezmann, so there was no way out because if Barca never wanted to sell him, or if Barca was pushing more for that 40 million euros that Atletico Madrid never wanted to pay in the first place, it means that at the end of the season, Griezmann could have returned back to the Camp Nou, something that Xavi himself will not be happy about because he is not a big fan of Antoine Griezmann. So better to just sell him. The little thing that comes out from it, then it's okay, because at the end of the day, we don't need the Antoine Griezmann. So half a bread is better than none. Better just sell him for whatever. We just accept the fact that yes, Barca made losses. It was a bad business from us. After all, the last presidency, the regime of the last presidency was chaos, buying some kind of funny players, and things were not moving smoothly. So I think Laporta's hands was tied in Griezmann's case. Then moving on to the next story of discussion. On Monday, reports surfaced claiming that Barcelona had been in contact with the entourage of Chelsea midfielder N'Golo Kante for months as they assessed the possibility of signing the midfielder next year. Now, journalist Jose Alvarez is claiming that Barca manager Xavi Hernandez and the technical staff at the club really like the French international and want to sign him on a Bosman move next summer. Kante has been one of the best midfielders in the game for a good part of the last 7 years or so. The diminutive Frenchman has won every possible title at the club level with Chelsea and is also a World Cup winner with Le Bleu. While he has been bogged down by some fitness issues in the past year or so, Kante's status as a top midfielder remains intact. And with his contract with Chelsea expiring next year, there has been plenty of speculation about the future of the former Leicester City ace. And it seems like Barcelona are quite serious about the pursuit of Kante, with Xavi and the club's technical staff said to be great admirers of his abilities. With Barca likely to lose Sergio Busquets next summer when his contract runs down, there will be a hole in that midfield department that would need to be filled. Even though Barcelona are eyeing the likes of Ruben Neves, Martin Zubimendi and Enzo Fernandez as possible replacements, Kante could be seen as a cost-effective option, albeit not exactly like to fill the void of Busquets, while the experience he would bring to the table would be extremely valuable. So it will be interesting to see if Barcelona do pursue the former Leicester ace, considering the plethora of midfielders they already have on their roster and the desire to sign Bernardo Silva from Manchester City next summer. I can't count the number of midfielders that have recently been linked to Barcelona as free agents. Of course, yesterday, Sporting Director Matteo Alemany made emphasis of the fact that Barca will pursue free agents a lot come next summer in order to stabilize the finances of the club. We don't have money again. We don't want to go for levers. Barca is still not financially stable, and it's just a reality. Of course, Kante has been linked as well. I've been hearing a lot of midfielders, especially in the Premier League, linked to Barca in the past few days. And it seems as though the list is growing bigger and bigger every single day. Kante is a proven midfielder, even though the last season he was not up to standards, injury problems, and he have not been on his best form. But despite that, manager Xavi and the technical staff continue to put an eye on him and they like him to be there when Sergio Busquets leave. Of course, there are numerous players who have been talking about as potential replacement for Busquets. So right now, nobody can guess who will even be there when Busquets leaves because it's just rather confusing who will come. But Barca are just trying to keep a lot of options because at the end, they don't want to be disappointed that nobody came. So putting players like Kante and some, Naby Keita, there are many players, Ilkay Gundogan, especially in the Premier League, that have been linked recently as free agents. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.